What you don't understand is I'm in all white.
You are in all white.
And why am I in all white? As we begin another episode, another super podcast of What You Don't Understand Is. That's Jet Steve Wisegow.
Mark Blanchard over there.
I'm
wearing my white Jets hat.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I'm this close to buying another Jets hat. Can't decide if I want to do it because they got some pretty good.
That's the purpose of this white shirt.
What's that?
It's a blank canvas.
Blank canvas.
We have a bye this week.
We have a bye. We
White
can't lose.
Always in the Jets colors. So, if in fact I feel good for the podcast next week, I will have a new Jets shirt on next week. This time, same bat channel. And why? Because
the Jets rule.
That's exactly right. And what do you use on a day that Jets rule? There can be only one thing. Your stomach's feeling good, right?
Stomach's feeling good. There it is.
Libido Max, baby.
Libido Max.
I was going to bring out the red, but the problem is Liz is in Brooklyn and I'm here. So I don't want to be bringing out the red.
Because no, you don't want to be doing that.
That means it might stay red, and that's not good.
That or you're gonna build up your muscle right here.
So remember one thing, boys. Keep going with the Libido Max because that just means it's tuned up at all times. You don't have to wait for this or for that. You're ready. Okay? Irwin, Libido Max. Yeah.
Libido Max gets the blood flowing where it needs to flow. Stand up and salute.
Cup of Joe. Space Jam. One of the great movies ever. The original one, not the stupid one with Shaq or something. I forget. There was like a remake. Yeah, there was.
Was there?
I don't know why you would remake that.
It was pretty bad to begin with.
That's like remaking Brian's song in another way.
No, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Space Jam is trash.
Yeah, but it was good. No, the original Space Jam was a good movie. Okay. That's like remaking Field of Dreams. Should I give it?
It's like making a mediocre to bad movie because you thought it was a good idea.
That's right. So, Field of Dreams. Wow, what a movie.
Field of Dreams is a good movie.
Yeah, what a movie.
I like that movie. That has nothing to do with the Jets.
The best football movie ever made. I mean, you might go with The Longest Yard, but which was really good. Burt Reynolds in jail and everything. But I think I go with Brian's song. Even though it wasn't a theatrical release, it's as good as it gets.
Yeah. The funny thing is about football movies is Brian's song is more about Brian Piccolo than it is a football movie.
It is about, Oh, but wait a second. I got one, and I'm trying to think the name of it. It's not old either. And it had Kevin Costner in it. And it was about like recruiting and it sort of was like the football version of Moneyball. But it was good. It was a good movie. That was a good movie. I got to think of that.
I like the football movies, which are actually
football. Yeah. Okay. I got the best. I got the best one ever. I'm sorry. It's the one with the kid from Notre Dame. That
Rudy.
Rudy's fucking great. Rudy's great.
Yeah, that's a pretty good football movie. It's though it's more football than the other one. I'll say that.
Yeah. All right. So think of it. Then if it's not that, what is it? We got to start here.
There's football movies that are not. There's football movies that are good, guilty pleasure football movies, but on a movie overall level, they're kind of. But I mean, The Replacements is a fun movie. It's a football movie.
Yeah, it's
fun. Not a good movie, but it's a football movie.
A football movie, yeah, that's true.
The unnecessary roughness that takes place at this fictional college in Texas.
That's right. That's pretty good.
Football movie. Not a great movie, kind of a fun, silly movie, but it's a football movie.
What about The Jets Rule?
That's not a movie. That's real. Jets rule. The freaking Jets! For the first time.
Let's talk about the Jets.
For the first time.
They were 14-0, but they didn't have the 14 in front of them.
12.
Okay, it was 0.
For the first time in the history history of the New York Jets, they beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the regular season. 12 meetings in the entire history from 69 to now.
They lost
12
every time.
meetings,
The only
never
team
won.
they've never beaten.
And now they beat them.
That's right. And they beat them. They beat them. Oh, they beat them.
Well, they won. Let's just put it that way.
They beat them into a pulp.
They won.
There wasn't much left. Okay.
They won. Let's just put it that way. They won. But I will say this.
Tell me.
People like to, and this happens 99 times out of 100 happens on the offensive side of the ball, where people talk about, right, there you go, libido max. But people talk about giving credit to the system. For example, Shanahan. They give credit to Shanahan and they say the system is great if you have a quarterback who's mentally there and has average talent, he can excel. Father Shanahan Sr. did it. Now Shanahan up in San Francisco is doing it. And they talk about that all the time.
Florida's doing it.
How you can plug and play guys in a system. But the Jets did something this past Sunday. They were not out one starting corner. They were not out two starting corners. They were out three starting corners. They pulled one dude who they drafted 2 years ago to play at corner again. They pulled some dude off the practice squad. I have no idea who he is. And they pulled a safety and stuck him in the slot because they're like, hey, you look like you can play slot. They stuck him in the slot. These guys came up huge.
Playing the system.
Huge.
And listen, I watched something yesterday. It's called when a guy goes in front of the mic and they talk about the stuff and their coach and a press conference. That thing. You know what that is?
Yes.
Press conference.
Yeah.
It's similar to what I do with you, but it's official.
Well, there's people asking questions outside of me.
Yeah. Well, no, they ask questions of us. Look, I got one right there. Okay, I'll answer it. What was that press conference about? They're asking. Okay, I'm telling. So Robert Saleh was standing there with a grin on his face because he made the comment that he embarrassed all the quarterbacks.
That's right.
Defense and everything. And he was explaining just why, and this drives you and me crazy, that they play this kind of system and, where they don't bend from it, but they plug it in. And as the game goes on, they get better and stronger, but it doesn't matter who they piece in, it's going to work. And that's why they don't blitz a lot. And that's why, although he did kind of back up and said, although we did blitz and it worked. So I think that was a hint. I think that was a hint to Ulrich. It's time to blitz a little bit more. But
I think,
for example, Bryce Huff might be the most dangerous blitzer in all of football right now. Jermaine Johnson is coming into his own like crazy. They don't use Will McDonald. They don't use Will McDonald. I don't understand that.
There's no room.
I sent him
no room at the end.
And Quincy Williams, who I told you last year, I did. I told you.
I know you did.
This guy is one of the best linebackers in football. Well, this guy is one of the best linebackers in football.
I got to tell you something. Prior to this year, I looked at Quincy Williams and I was like, he's one-dimensional. And I know why we're re-signing him. We're signing him for two reasons. One, because we wanted to re-sign his brother, smart. And we're re-signing him because we need a linebacker, and it's either do you sign him or do you re-sign Quan Alexander? To me, I was like, tomato. You sign the brother because it's just a smarter move. But he really wasn't. I was like, hey, he's like a half a line. This guy proved me wrong to no end this year. He is everything and more.
He's literally he's in every fucking play. He's like CJ Mosley, but a few years younger than him. Okay, he may not be the same brain as CJ Mosley with running the team, but you don't need that of this guy. But athletically, he's a freak. He's everywhere. Every time he turns his hand is in the ball.
He's everywhere. He has one of the highest coverage rates of starting linebackers in the NFL.
He's leading the team in tackles, tied with CJ Mosley.
CJ Mosley. He's got a nose for the football.
They're tied now, I think.
Got a nose for the football.
All over the place. All over the place. Doesn't matter where it is.
Now,
and you watched him. Listen, that interception that they made, you saw him reading his eyes, and he took off right as the ball released the hand. He was running towards it.
Yeah. So
picked off.
Back to Bryce Huff, who Bryce Huff has the 4th highest pressure rate in the NFL after 6 weeks. The 4th highest pressure.
And I'll tell you what, if they used him more, I bet you'd be number 1 because
I'll tell you something else. I don't know if they're going to do it during this bye week, but in my humble opinion, they should rip a page out of the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook, and that is overpay right now for your guy. And he is the guy they should overpay for right now. Right now, you look at this kid, and he's like, oh, he's probably $15 million a year player, maybe 16, not more. I would pay 20 right now, offer him a $20 million per year contract, 3-year deal, because if you don't,
he's going.
He's a free agent at the end of this year.
He's going. I agree with you totally, because another team is going to look at that and say, holy shit. And they're going to use him twice as much.
So pay him now. Overpay him now.
Got it.
Do it.
The money. It's not like Woody doesn't have the money. He's got the money.
I don't think Woody has the money.
Who has it?
I think Woody. Things haven't been so in billionaire land. Woody doesn't have as much billions as Uncle Steve does, and I also think in billionaire.
Buy the Jets, Uncle Steve.
I also think in billionaire land, Uncle Steve says he has this much when everybody knows Uncle Steve really has that much.
That's right.
And I think in billionaire land, Woody follows the Trump model where he says he has this much, but I think he has this much.
Doesn't really have that one.
And he can't. So anyway, I would love to see them sign extend Bryce right now. I
agree.
But I don't think they will.
You can't pay him more than the other guys on your team in the same. You got
to pay him $20 million a year. That's an overpay, but you overpay now. Pittsburgh used to do this with their linebackers. They used to overpay early, and people would say, "Why are you paying that guy? You overpaid." And then, literally a year and a half later, they're like, "They got that guy on the cheap."
Okay, yeah. I like that. They've been good on defense forever.
This is what we need to do.
Dude, I have to say something about our defense. If you take away how putrid they are for the first set to 2 sets of downs.
The entire first quarter.
For most of the first quarter.
All of it.
If you take that away, we're the best defense in the NFL, bar none.
If we learned how to, if we played defense the full game, like we play in the second half,
or the second quarter, we're always.
We'd be the highest by a wide margin. But first quarter,
we've given up 5 points in 6 weeks in the second half.
First quarter, we throw out the window.
Listen, that first touchdown that they went, we stopped him. That was.
You mean the touchdown where they went to commercial break and said,
Well, it wasn't a touchdown. We went to commercial break. The Jets were on the field, ready to take the snap. We come back, it's facing the wrong way. No explanation, by the way. And I saw it last night. I saw Tiki Barber, who was on the game before, and saw the terrible play against us. With the Sauce Gardner. He said that was bad. That was bad. He said, but I watch this now. This is unexplainable. Something is going on. And it does. And he came out and he said, and it does seem like it goes to the favorite team every time. And then if you want to argue it, argue it. But I'll
See,
show
listen,
you 10 in a row.
I have no love
And that's
lost.
Tiki Barber, who does not love the Jets.
Well, let me put it this way. As you know, much like yourself, I have zero love loss for the Giants. Zero. But they got hosed on that call. I mean, that dude was held
I
in two
understand that
separate
the other call
ear
was,
and his arm,
I mean,
and the ref
other one
is
was
standing right
questionable.
there.
The call right before that was a little questionable, and I think that's why they went and didn't call it. But okay, if it was questionable, it was questionable. No one protested, didn't happen, blah, blah, blah. That guy was mauled.
Mauled. I mean, that's
I'm not saying that it would have made any difference because they were.
Yeah, but it should have, because it should have been 1st and goal from the 1.
But there was only one play left. There's no time. So
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You
get another chance. You get another chance. You get
another chance.
But they should have had the other chance.
They should have had the chance. That was like
they stink.
That was like the Angel Hernandez call in football version.
And we need. I don't know who they're playing this. The Giants are playing someone on Sunday.
The Bills. No, that was who they just lost to. They are playing.
They're playing a team that should beat them badly.
Yes.
And I can't think of what it is.
All right. Anyway, I'll look it up.
But I want that. Go to 1-6. Be completely done. So we come out of the bye and we just demolish them.
Well, listen, we have to come out of the bye, not like you would come out of the bye with Rex and lose.
Well, because we come out of the bye drunk.
Oh, okay. So hold on. The Giants are actually playing in our stadium, which we have to share with them. They are hosting the Washington Commanders.
Okay, so the Commanders should beat them up.
But that could be a good game.
That's a shame.
But you know what? It shouldn't matter.
At 2-5, do they think they have a chance if they win?
But I don't care. See, to me, I almost would want them to win, because that way they're like, we got hosed against the Bills, we won our game, and they almost it's like they got it out of their system.
And they're thinking to themselves, "Oh, we could be 3-3 too at this point, or something like that."
That's right, but they don't, because they have Daniel. By the way, the hilarious part is Tyrod Taylor
is better.
Played better than Daniel Jones.
No, he's better than Daniel Jones flat out. Daniel Jones is going to go down as the world's worst quarterback signing of all time.
It might. I got to tell you something.
Tell me one worse. $92 million,
80 guaranteed. Wait, not only is he guaranteed $82 million, but year 3, which is they can't, even if they wanted to cut him, it would cost them $19 million on the low end, $22 million
right.
on the average end. They're stuck with them.
It's unbelievable, and nobody's taking them.
Who would you?
No, there's no. Okay, he's the worst starting quarterback. That's including Zach Wilson. He's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
Well, Bryce Young is looking pretty horrible, but he's a rookie.
You can't. The first class you can't say anything about because you don't know yet.
Yeah. But that is the hilarious, one of the worst
of any senior, of any not rookie, any 3-year or more quarterback.
Well, it's one of the worst signings a quarterback in recent memory.
I think it is the worst.
Bar none.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
And you know what? Giants.
Jets. Okay, now let's talk about Zach Wilson.
Hold on a second.
Okay, because
there you go.
Think I don't know. Zach Wilson, he texted me the other day, and he said, "Where do I get this?" And I said,
Zach Wilson needs that.
Zach wanted it because of his mother apparently has another friend coming over, and she's
all right.
She's not. Let's put it this way: she's not at the same hot level as the one that he did do. So he wants to be sure because he said he's been told he has to take care of business for the family. So I didn't know that that's what it was, but that's what happens with him.
All right.
So here it is. Okay. Zach, don't get crazy with this because you're young. Okay.
He should need that, but
you can take 2 a day for the next month. And let's see. You text me back and let me know.
Yeah.
Libido Max, baby.
Max.
Libido Max.
Zach Wilson, by the way.
Huh?
Zach Wilson, by the way.
Let's talk about him.
So, I still believe that his best game was against Kansas City, which was the one we got hosed. He played okay against Denver. He played okay against the Eagles, and that's okay is good enough.
But I think he played better than okay, and I'm going to tell you.
No, he didn't.
That
KC game.
The only thing left.
KC game was still better. That's his best game.
But the only thing he has left to do, and I hate to give this to Tiki Barber too, but he actually said something similar to what I'm going to say. The only thing left he has to do is he needs to be able to pre-read the defense just a little bit better. And he needs to also stand in the pocket. At times he thinks he has to move for a second longer. For example, the pass that he threw, that silly pass across to Garrett Wilson, it went for a few yards and everything, but he locked on him and he threw it. He ran out of the pocket and he threw it left across the field and he got him. But standing in the end zone wide open was Lazard, like by 10 yards. He didn't see him. He didn't see him because he bolted to there and he made his decision to throw back. You got to keep your eyes downfield.
Well, you got to. He looks like he does this.
That's right.
He doesn't do
wherever he goes. If you're going to run to the side, you can still keep your eyes downfield.
See, this is why I'm telling you, his best game was against Kansas City.
But he's been improving. He hasn't made a mistake.
Absolutely.
He hasn't made a mistake that's cost us the game.
He hasn't made a mistake that's cost us the game. Here's where he's improved. Not that, but
his accuracy has improved. Hold on a second.
Yeah, who we got, a caller?
We got a caller, Johnny Van Oker. I want you to know you're on our podcast, Johnny Van Oker. This is the JETS Jets podcast here. What you don't understand is, yeah, exactly. You don't understand. All right, you're gonna need me if you're not gonna be a part of this excitement.
Very important, my friend.
Okay, you're live. You're live. Remember, you're live.
I like live because if you're not live, what are you?
Exactly.
And then if you're live, then I belong here.
Okay, so tell me, go get to it. We got to get back to the podcast.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, I need to discuss automotive motor. Someone reached out to me yesterday, the guys I work with.
Are you talking about American Motor Story?
Discuss with you what your thoughts are as to how it relates to what they asked me for. So
I will call you back in 20 minutes. Will you be ready?
Perfect. I am live.
That's it. Say goodbye to JETS, Jets.
JTS, Johnny V is loving you. Good morning. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
So listen.
We got a live call in from New York.
Mike from New York. It's Johnny V. So, Zach, here's what's impressed me about Zach. Since he's not doing hero ball, which is great.
As a matter of fact, almost to the point where I'm a little upset. It's almost
no. Be happy he's not doing hero ball because he can't do that.
Okay, let me rephrase that. They know he's got a golden arm. They know he can throw the ball deep. They got the best or the second or third best receiver in all of football sitting there on either wing every play. Let him go and let him throw a couple passes.
But that's not hero ball. What I'm talking about is
let him go.
That's different. What I'm talking about, Zach, is he's not playing hero ball, which is great. He's not he's not making stupid mistakes.
Not running backwards.
But here's the one thing that really impressed me the most so far. He played an absolute, what I want to say prior to these few weeks, typical Zach Wilson, putrid stinkorama game against the Patriots. And the next game was against Kansas City, shook it off. And he shook that game off, and he hasn't looked back.
That's right. And
that's huge.
And he didn't wear the fumble more. He took the blame for it. He said it was my fault. We should have won even with the play and everything because I fumbled the ball. Not true. It wasn't his fault, but he took the blame.
That's a big step.
He took a big step and then hasn't fumbled or thrown an interception since.
No, he's thrown an interception, but it wasn't really his. No,
that doesn't count. That thing bounced out of the guy's chest.
Not his.
He did not. He's not been the reason.
Point being is,
ball was intercepted.
Point being is he's. I think he's improved. He's improving this,
which is the only thing he doesn't have.
True.
I would say
that's a pretty big. That's a pretty big thing not to have
this season. This was down here, off screen.
Yeah.
I think this is about here now.
Well, listen, it is because he's still, and he did this in college too. He's still, he locks on the primary read, and the second the primary read is covered and he doesn't play hero ball, which is good, he immediately, instead of going to read 2, he immediately goes to check down. And that's what happens when the guys like Lazard.
Well, that's what he did that's what he did with Garrett Wilson. Garrett wasn't his primary receiver. There was a check down in this. The primary was the other guy in his end zone, which he was looking at, and he was covered. Rush started to come, but he had changed the protection. He called a tight end to stay in. That tight end picked up the guy that was coming at him. He panicked with those happy feet, turned and threw it instead of staying down. I know you protect.
And he does that all the time.
Learn. He's got to learn. I'm telling you, he's got to understand his protections. It doesn't mean because a guy has come barreling down that you necessarily have to leave the pocket. You step up if another guy's coming to cover him. If that guy misses his block, he misses his block.
His problem is he's had that problem since BYU. He doesn't trust his blocking. He didn't trust it in college. He didn't trust it here. So he creates an issue for himself.
He creates the issue. There you go. He creates the issue. That's not there, but it's been better.
He's improved. And if he keeps improving,
if he takes
that, he should improve like instantly.
That's what I'm saying.
But
there he goes.
He's making baby steps. And look, that's forward motion.
That's all you can ask for. I expect this next game to be something special. And I'll tell you why. Not because the Giants don't have a decent defense, because they have no offense whatsoever, but they don't have a terrible defense.
No, their defense isn't bad.
It's not great.
Not great.
It's better than 15.
It's better than some, better than most.
I would say it's mid. It's somewhere between 15th and 18th. Somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
And so they could have a good game. They could have a really good. So we need Zach to understand that. And I think he's going to.
Well, listen, it would be nice to actually get in the red zone and score a touchdown.
Well, we signed Julio Jones. So
no, we didn't sign Julio Jones.
We didn't?
No.
Who did?
That's their name. Signed Julio Jones.
Someone else did?
Who
was it?
I'm blanking.
That had two good. Oh, Dallas.
Kansas City?
Dallas.
Kansas City?
I think it's
Chiefs?
Dallas.
Huh?
Dallas.
Dallas signed him?
Yeah. Dallas signed him because they were upset they had all this trouble scoring and they almost lost.
Really? I thought well, it doesn't matter. We didn't sign him.
It wasn't us.
It wasn't us.
I think you might be wrong. I'm going to check on that.
I'm checking on it right now. Julio Jones. Eagles. He signs with the Eagles.
After we beat them, because they couldn't
After we
score
beat
on
them.
us. That's it. So I told you that's something to do with the Jets. We didn't sign Hilly Jones, they did.
Yeah.
But we're
So
going to
anyway,
sign. But the rumor is we're signing Randy Moss.
now I'll tell you what the rumor is. The rumor is we are going to actually try to trade for a wide receiver if we can get one, because the NFL trade stuff doesn't
Weird.
happen like any other sport. It's
Right.
like they don't like doing it. It's weird. But depending on Baltimore and how they feel they sit, I mean, not Baltimore, Arizona, excuse me.
Right.
Arizona feel like if Arizona loses again this week, there's a chance we could trade for Hollywood Brown.
Larry Fitzgerald?
Hollywood Brown.
Not Larry Fitzgerald.
No, Larry Fitzgerald does commentary. Hollywood Brown.
Oh, he's a good receiver.
You could trade for him. That's a guy.
Larry Fitzgerald's a great receiver.
That's a guy that's the speed receiver that makes Garrett Wilson more open, because now they got to worry about
someone going deep. Right. Yeah. The only guy we have
that would be
the
good.
only guy we have at that speed is Gibson, and he's not that guy.
Well, he's not tall enough.
Right. Yeah. He's not that guy that you could throw a jump ball down in the end, just let it fly and everything. But
not tall enough.
I love Hollywood Brown.
Maybe
and I hear he's
Hollywood Brown.
I hear Hollywood Brown wants to play on Broadway.
Well,
he wants to be
Broadway Brown.
Yeah, he wants to be Broadway Brown.
Broadway Brown.
It's a better name.
We'll see.
It's a better name.
Broadway Brown.
You can ask me if I want to be Hollywood Blanchard or Broadway Blanchard. Broadway Blanchard.
Yeah, but that's a nice alliteration.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good alliteration.
I think that's what you're calling me from now on.
All right, so
what you don't understand is my nickname is Broadway Blanchard.
Anything else?
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. What's happening? What's rising up out of the nowhere? This is uncalled for. There's got to be something special going on here. Uncle Steve is in the house.
Well, so I wouldn't say there's something special going on. We have yet to name a manager, even though I think it's going to be
the World Series. Is that it, or between the?
I don't freaking know, because Major League Baseball is weird like that. The NFL does the same crap. They like to don't distract. It's like, come on. But I still think it's going to be Craig Counsell, but we don't know for sure.
Okay, so then why'd you put that hat on?
Tell you why.
It's a little disturbing to me.
I'll tell you why. The Florida Marlins, who had the skimpiest of skimpy payrolls for the past 4 years, hired a brilliant woman to be their GM. Okay,
dude, Nicole Gwynn or something. Nicole
Ng.
Yeah.
Okay, she basically turned, and since we don't have kids on the show, she turned shit into shinola, which is she turned a piece of poop into something shiny.
And she drafted those 3 stud pitchers.
Not only did she do that, but she made the trade to bring Orlando Arcia in. This woman built this team in 3.5 years and made them playoff contenders with no money. And what did the Florida Marlins ownership do to reward her for this?
Same thing the Mets did. They hired someone above.
By the way, we're hiring somebody above you to do all the decisions. And she said, I'm out.
Goodbye.
Bye. Now, why I bring this up is this.
I see where you're going. And
most people are saying
I'm going to tell you something.
That she wants to run the whole show. I don't fault her for that. There's really only 2 openings for decent teams right now. The White Sox.
How'd you get ballooned?
The White Sox and the Red Sox, good solid teams that could be flipped pretty quickly, that she would be in charge. However, she lived in Queens, New York for about 10 years. Would she accept the quote unquote, what would amount to an assistant GM role, but would she accept the GM role for the New York Mets? greedily,
Okay.
I of course would love to have her.
I'm gonna
But I
stop
think
you.
she says no.
I'm gonna stop you.
Yeah.
And I agree with all your thinking. Okay. But Uncle Steve has a hard on for David Stearns and has had a hard on for him for a couple of years and wanted him from the start, was patient and brought him, and we got him.
But he's president. See,
I know, but he's the president, but
I don't think she would. That's the whole reason she left Florida.
here's the problem. I agree with your whole call, but across the river, there's a piece of shit team that's falling apart that she was a part of as an
Yeah,
assistant.
but they'd have to fire Cashman, and Steinbrenner's not going to fire Cashman.
I think they will.
No, they're not. He
Well,
loves him. Don't ask me
They
why.
don't. I see her going to the Angels. And I mean, I love two things. I love that we're discussing a GM, that she's a female, and we're not talking about, oh, isn't this a great female hire? Because she's great. So there's
Well, that's
no
the whole
reason to
point.
say
Is she's a good GM. She happens to be
female.
a woman, but more importantly, she's a good GM.
That's what counts. That's what. There's no argument when someone. The reason why I say, like, oh, why don't we have women quarterbacks? Because they're not going to be good enough. They don't have the skills to do it. Not because they're women, but because of that.
Well, that's a physical.
Why don't we pay women the same amount in films? Well, when you're Charlize Theron and you bring in $100 million, you pay her.
In a football sense, woman couldn't play quarterback, not because she's not as smart, or in a lot of cases,
no, she's probably smarter,
but just physically,
but she'd be dead.
They'd kill her.
They'd kill her. They'd kill her. If Quinnen Williams comes in and smashes her to the ground.
Dude, if Anthony Richardson, who's a 6'5" and doesn't learn how to protect himself, is knocked out and his rookie season is over, what would happen to a 6 foot tall woman?
Right. And that's going to be the tallest woman there is 6 feet.
So that being said, Kim Ang.
But Kim Ang, or whatever her name is, Nicole.
Kim Ang, NG.
Kim Ang. Kim Nig. Kim Nig. No, you can't say Nig. Kim,
no, it's NG. It's Vietnamese for Ang, isn't it?
Ang. Yeah, Egg. Ang.
Or Korean. First name is Kim Ang. She's Vietnamese.
That's got to be Korean.
No, Kim is her first name. Ang is her last.
No, but Kim is a very common.
I think it's Vietnamese. NG, I think is Vietnamese.
It could be.
Anyway,
it could
she's
be.
She's going to get a gig.
They don't have any vowels in their language, so that could
she's
be.
She's going to get a gig. She is.
Oh, no, she's going to get a gig. She turned them around.
So I would love,
maybe
but I don't
get one of those pitchers.
Right. So she'll get. If the Red Sox were smart, they'd hire her tomorrow.
Well, I think that's the leading candidate for her.
They would, they should just hire her. Done.
It's over.
And what would be great about it is she would build a team to destroy the Yankees.
Destroy the Yankees. Well,
so anyway,
let me just say something. You don't need to destroy the Yankees. They've done a pretty good job. Cashman is the worst. I don't know what it is with him. Cashman is absolutely putrid as a GM, and they keep keeping him.
He's there for like 15 years, I think.
And he's terrible.
You're not good.
It's terrible. Get rid of that, because I want to go back to this before the end of the day. I feel you. When something happens, we'll go.
I'm excited. Look.
Listen, we're only a couple of weeks away that we may include the Knicks in this podcast.
Then I got to go back to bouncing my head.
You can bounce your head, and I have plenty of Knicks shirts.
All right. So, all right. What do you got to do before we get to the Pearl? What do you want to say before we get to the Pearl? Oh, yeah.
Libido Max, baby. It tunes you up for those moments you want to be on the long haul, the right road. Look at that. Oh, wow. Take it, babies.
And then you got this.
Oh, that's the Hulk.
Jet logo right
I
there.
see it. I see it. Which Jet Hulk is he?
Who cares?
Gas
Jet
tank.
Hulk. And when you take one of those things, you play like this.
Play like the Hulk, baby. You want to be the Hulk? Libido Max. Okay. Prior to the last podcast,
Yeah.
super podcast, the emergency broadcast podcast,
Yes.
I was thinking about something, and I talked about it in the Pearl of Wisdom.
Right.
And that Pearl of Wisdom was the belief, was the
Right.
hope. And we went for it. Well, they had us down and out. They had us no chance. We woke up Friday, and by Saturday, we were missing everybody. We had 3 starters. That's
Well,
all
our defense more than that.
starters. That's it. Okay. We were picking people up from Home Depot to 2 Guys.
2 Guys.
You don't remember 2 Guys? 2 Guys was like the store before Kmart that was in Freehold, that was in 2 Guys. Yeah, it was 2 Guys. Okay, so you don't remember that, but that's how far back we went looking for something
Okay.
to play. Okay,
Stick with Home Depot. I know what you mean.
we didn't find them.
We drove by and went honk the horn.
Yep. We got 3 of the workers. They came up and they played. They suited up and they played. And
Played well.
They didn't play well. But this is why. And I'm going to use something. You're going to tell me what it's from.
But it's
That's
from.
why you play the game.
A term.
That's why you play the game.
That's why you play.
So when people tell you you've got no chance, you can't get that job, you can't rise to the top to be able to do it, you're a woman, you're too small, you don't. That's why you play the game.
Any
The Jets showed up
given Sunday.
And the Jets showed up saying, oh, yes, we can. There's 60 minutes I've got out there to prove it, and I'm going to play for all of those 60 minutes. And that's the Pearl of Wisdom, boys and girls.
Play for 60 minutes.
60 minutes is 60 minutes. If you're given a clock to play within, if you're given 9 innings to play, if you're given 2 hours for your test, you have that time. That doesn't mean it all has to be shot. You don't have to use Libido Max in the first 2 minutes. You can spread it out long and strong. You show me someone who complains about long and strong. I know as living proof, I've never been complained to. So there you go. There's a reason for that. Okay? Because I play for 60 minutes. Okay?
60 minutes.
No, 60 minutes. And that's on a slow day. Now, the reason you play for that is because time in and of itself is constructed by man. When you look out into the universe,
Yeah.
up there somewhere, out over there, and you see that in the far off galaxy, there's another galaxy beyond that,
Right.
and beyond that,
Right.
and beyond that.
Correct.
That's right. So you're looking at the great cosmos out there, and they don't understand what happened yesterday or is happening tomorrow. They're given the ball of happening. They're given a vast canvas to work with. So if you're given a smaller canvas to work with, you have to work in the same principles as a vast canvas. You're given the canvas, paint the whole canvas. Don't leave any dots here and there unfulfilled between this and that. And that's what we're doing. That's why we're the team. And that's why I actually have faith in these coaches. And my pearl of wisdom is that when you doubt and live in that doubt, you're done.
Oh, I have no, I'm just amazed by you just said you have faith in these coaches because, folks, you should hear what he says off the air sometimes. But go ahead.
I don't think they know anything about what they're doing in this minute. But I do think that they understand the bigger picture. And they're still looking for all the missing dots, all the missing things that are happening, and they're improving. What they're not doing is accepting the fact that they don't know anything, that the team isn't the team they thought that it was, that Aaron Rodgers goes down, so the season goes down. None of them did that. They are still playing the game. They are playing 60 minutes every Sunday. And I expect 60 minutes to show up in 2 weeks. So my friends, my fellow compatriots, my Jets, Jets fans that are out there, and there are a lot of you, okay? My Hulks in the waiting. Let me explain something to you. Don't accept that no. Take that no and turn it upside down. What does it become?
On.
Turn it on. They say no, turn it on. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if it does, but it sounds good.
Okay. Libido Max, baby.
Libido Max.
Another episode of What You Don't Understand is That's Jets Steve Weisgal.
Mark Blanchard over there.
That's right. Broadway Blanchard, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, should we just do that from now on?
Broadway Blanchard.
Okay, it's in the books. As
Thank
Howie
you.
Rose would say, put it in the books.
Put it in the books.
So let's close it out. Do a reclose.
Okay. What you don't understand, my friends,
You don't understand is
that's Jet Steve Weisgal.
that's Broadway Blanchard over there.
Blanchard!
And until next time,
It's been another episode, and it's been a good one.
it's been a good one. Adios.
Adios.